It's Shop Talk by No. It's where we hear their stories and shape your future.
There's this like duality, right? We're told we have to achieve this perfection, but as women, we are never perfect because we are always juggling so many things at once that we're just trying to do everything the best we can. Perfection is almost never a goal or attainable.
It's
just
not attainable.
but it's a level that we're supposed to achieve, but we know that's not reasonable.
It's right, but yet, what a mind fuck. We still like try to chase it. We still try to achieve it, though we logically know it's not possible.
It's not. And if you think about it, nobody wants to see a movie that doesn't have some struggle in it.
I'm really excited about this conversation. Let's just do a hand raise really fast. Like, who struggles with imposter syndrome?
Today.
You're like, can I go ahead?
I was like, me?
This is what, this
It's
is
so
what
real.
I really want to talk about today. Like, we're talking about like the perfectionist trap, or like feeling like we have to be perfect all the time. But really what I want to talk about is imposter syndrome. I think I was like just so shocked that every woman alive, even the most successful women that we know, that we want to emulate, etc., 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 conversation after conversation, it always resonates. We all struggle with this. Why? Anybody, like, anyone have any type of theory? Like, what the hell is wrong with us? Why are we always struggling? Why are we not good enough? Like, what? Because I think we all are good enough. At the end of the day, we're all worthy. We're all meant to be here. We've all like had these great, tremendous successes in our career, in our lives. We have crazy comeback stories. Like, what the hell?
I think the biggest thing that we can do for women is to tell these stories, because
Hell yeah.
other women who, like, I looked up to women and I was like, I can never do that. I can never sit here. When I got the email, I was like, wow, me? What? Did you pick the wrong person? And then I'm like, no, I'm worthy. Like,
It's
I'm
so
worthy. I
true.
belong here.
But I
belong
will
with these
tell you
beautiful
that
women.
as we've progressed in our careers and our age, it doesn't matter. Every woman, regardless of the position or the highest level of entertainer or politician or whatever, they all get the imposter syndrome and they all feel it. And I think one of the best, it's that voice inside your head. And I think it was Shelley Zallis that said, you got to shut that bitch up.
That's right.
Hell yeah, bitch. Right?
Right?
I think
That's
so
real.
too. I mean, I think it's just like, so with all of the triumphs, with all of the success, like this desire of perfection creeps in. I mean, I feel like maybe do you feel like you're built? Like, are you just built to be an overachiever? I'm so curious to like really jump into this conversation.
I'm so curious about what you guys think about the idea of perfection, because we there's this like duality, right? We're told we have to achieve this perfection, but as women, we are never perfect because we are always juggling so many things at once that we're just trying to do everything the best we can and move it forward. So perfection is almost never a goal or attainable.
It's
just
not attainable.
but it's a level that we're supposed to achieve, but we know that's not reasonable.
It's right, but yet, what a mind fuck. We still like try to chase it. We still try to achieve it, though we logically know it's not possible.
It's not. And if you think about it, nobody wants to see a movie that doesn't have some struggle in it. And
Right.
nobody wants to hear
Every
how I
movie.
built this when everything went swimmingly. People actually need to hear it.
Yeah.
And I think the perfectionism is also driven by our innate fear of failure, by how you grew up and started working this corporate environment where if you take a risk and you take a mistake, it can cause you a raise or a promotion or your reputation. Whereas in the entrepreneur world or anything that we're doing, you actually have to take risk and you have to get very comfortable with that uncomfortable feeling. And also sharing it. Like, we've made a bunch of mistakes and that's okay because it made us so much better.
100%.
Absolutely.
And a lot of us too come from, and I say the triumphs and like the journey and like the comeback, right? So we've been in places where we had super struggles and places where we've climbed our way out of it. But still, we're like still trying to achieve more and more and more. Is it ever enough?
Yeah. No. Someone told me a few weeks ago, I was just sitting there and she was like, damn girl, when are you just gonna celebrate now?
Oh.
And I was like, oh damn.
Oh.
Because I'm always like, next, let's
Yes.
go. let's go,
Right?
let's go. And you're
You're like,
not
did it,
just like,
did it.
damn, can I just like, but I cheer everybody else.
Yeah.
So why am I not worth the cheer?
Yeah.
You know, or the pause, or and that comes from myself of like, again, that value system. You know, when you were talking about imposter syndrome, I have it has almost been crippling to me. When I first started the organization Dignity for Divas, I was walking in rooms and I was like, oh, I better put on a blazer because I'm the boss. And I was,
And bosses
and
wear
then,
blazers.
Bosses wear blazers.
Bosses wear blazers. I better wear a damn blazer. And
That's so funny.
even though I got my blazer, I mean, I like a blazer, but I'm just saying.
I mean,
I
you
was
got
just,
you got a sleeveless
rocking your
blazer
own
on
blazer
doing
now.
your
You're
own
rocking
thing.
doing
babe.
my way.
And this
Right.
woman, I was getting ready to go on stage, and she said, "You look so uncomfortable," and I was like, "Damn, I am." And she goes, "I want you to go out in the hallway." She goes, "Do you have any extra stuff with you?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I got my gear I wear when I leave here." And she was like, "Go put on whatever makes you the most comfortable, and then come back." And I came out with my Ziggy Marley t-shirt,
There you go.
my jeans, my Chucks,
Yep.
and I hit that damn stage, and she was like, "Now I have a question for you." I was like, "Yeah," because I was all hype. I was like, "Man,
Yeah.
that was the best. I can't believe it." And she was like, "Are you still the boss?" And I was like, "Oh shit, yeah."
I am.
Are you
Yeah.
still the boss?
And authentically
Yep.
leading,
Are you
right?
still the boss?
Exactly.
And-
So
You know,
And I
like,
think
that's
that-
real.
That I think I love that story because it's the reality of like, and I think when you ask about why do we feel like imposters, is because in our jobs, in my job
Mhm.
before I left, I was told I wasn't the boss. I was like, I was doing a great job. I was like leading. I was an executive. I was a VP. I was in charge of everything, but I wasn't the boss. And so I spent 20 some years of my career being really good at everything and not being the boss. And
for the title.
or
Mhm.
and that's
Right.
you know, I had the
everything.
titles up to a place, and then I just kept getting knocked down by the one at the top. And I go, someone asked me when kind of all the things, well, you get to that moment where you're like, do I need to do something different? And I was the breadwinner, and my friend asked me, why are you afraid to jump? And I said, well, I'm the breadwinner of financial failure. And she said, when in your entire life have you had financial failure? I was like, never. And she goes, well, why do you think you're going to have it now?
Right.
And I was like,
That's real.
so you just jump
Right.
and then you
Well,
figure it out.
100%. I
And you be the
agree
boss.
with that. And you are the boss. And so what does self-care look like for you, A-type overachieving
Oh
woman?
my god.
Let's talk about it.
Silent.
I know
Silence.
no one had anything to say there.
You know
Except for, oh God.
You know what?
Oh
No,
my
so
God.
I never actually, to be real, growing up, I never heard the word self care.
Right.
I was
Right.
like, when I first heard it, I was like, "Who?"
What the hell is that?
And they were like, "You need self care." I was like, "Oh, all right, that sounds cute." And then, but you know what ended up happening? When I started to feel myself like 0 to 10 real quick, like
Mm,
real quick.
mm.
Cynically snap. And then I was just getting so tired of being tired.
It was forced upon you then,
It was
huh?
forced. I just had
Yeah.
to. I remember one day I was just
You're
sitting
like, this
down,
is what self-care is.
and
But
I
it's
was
also
self care for me is
generational.
just sitting down.
But don't you
just-
think?
Yep.
Like, I don't remember my mom having friends and doing stuff herself. She
No.
worked and she
Yeah.
took care of her kids and the
Yep.
family, and that was it.
Went to bed, woke up,
And
did it the next day.
The women that we saw in corporate America when
Yep.
we were coming up had to work twice as hard to have the same situations. And I think so it was kind of built into us, and to unwind that and to take the time to put our own oxygen mask on first, it doesn't
Mm.
come
Yeah.
just like taking
Doesn't
risks
come
doesn't come naturally. These are things you actually have to train yourself. But I
Mhm.
will tell you what, this next generation, my daughter has no problem with self-care.
Girl, I'm
Zero.
telling
Like,
you,
she is,
they are
but that is
gangsters.
good. So
That's
it's
And
it's
they got it
really-
right. And
Yeah.
they got it right. And if you talk about generational, right? It's like our parents taught us to just work hard, work hard, and get you just work
Yes.
to
Work,
that.
make
Yes.
somebody
But
work.
we're
Right.
I think if it's something that we've given our children, you can work hard, but you shouldn't work like what I kind of disavow is this idea of you're family when you're part of a company. No, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not family, because that means you get taken advantage of, and that means people just expect things of you. And the answer is we're not family. I do a job and I do it really well, and I need to be
Mm.
respected for that. And that's what our kids have actually learned is self-care is part of,
Yeah.
I'm going to work for you, I'm going to work hard, but
But
you
it's
know, at the end
also
of the
it's
day.
where authenticity ties back
Right.
into it, because if you in the middle of the day went for a walk, you felt guilty about it. And why
Right.
should you? Because you're going to come back better and stronger, and
Yeah.
you
That's
just
real.
have to be unapologetic about taking care of yourself. And I
Yeah.
think all of us came from situations that were so toxic, and we
Yeah.
tried to stay in them because it was grit and it was
That's it.
stupid.
Grit.
Um,
Oof.
You're
yeah,
so
that's
strong.
that's
You're
a
so
tough
strong.
word.
Oh my
Right.
Because you need
You're just so
resilience,
strong.
but
You're like,
but you
okay,
stay
great,
in
thanks.
situations that are not your situation.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Oh, I love this. And when we talk about self-care, like self-care is like it's a spectrum. It could be taking a massage, but I'm glad we're talking about just like the fundamental,
Real.
like really taking care of
Yes.
yourself, right? Because people used to say that to me all the time, but Sarah, what are you doing for you? And I'm like, no, I'm in grind time. I am not going to
Okay.
get,
I'm
there's
good.
like no nails,
But it
no
was that
massage,
burnout
right?
culture, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you know what real self care is for me?
What's that?
Costco rotisserie chicken. Like,
Hey.
I don't
Hey.
need to be
Make
Bobby
it
Flay.
easy.
I don't,
That
I'm
is
not on a cooking
amazing.
show. I don't have anything to prove.
And they're $5, right?
I'm good. That's self care,
It's not
not
bad.
trying to be like, I'm a chef. I have no, I don't.
That's
you can
it.
pop the top and keep it
Wait,
moving.
can we say true confessions? I used to book massages when I worked in corporate, and I would put it in as physical therapy because I felt too guilty. But like
That's
right now,
good.
I'm like, I have a massage.
That's
I'm
it.
writing in capital letters. I'm going to get a massage.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
I
But
am
you
like
would-
so guilty of scheduling the massage and never showing up. Bad, right?
But you know,
I have
this-
like 37 credits with Massage Envy right now. Somebody please, like,
All right,
take
Lisa,
them
true
away.
confessions. You're up. We got
Wow.
rotisserie chicken. We got physical therapy,
Yeah,
aka massage.
yeah.
What you got?
beer and laughter.
Beer and laughter.
I mean,
Hey, I
It's
feel
saying
it.
no. That's my real flex.
Saying no.
I say it too quick now. Hey, no.
no.
I'm like, I didn't even
But-
finish.
no.
But I think
I love no.
I love the fact that like when we like what's the self-care conversation is really also where we started this whole thing too, right? It's
Yeah.
like we have to be able to talk about the fact that self-care isn't massages and getting your nails done. It's
That's
like,
it.
that's this belief that you're
exactly
supposed to
right.
go
Yeah.
do
That's right.
this, like do self-care every day. This silly, stupid, whatever it is
Yeah.
for you, like getting a chicken or
This
laughing with
Self-care
your
is like that
friends.
5
or-
minutes in the
It
morning. I
is,
get to
right?
like
Yeah.
pray through my day or have my devotionals or just like set my tone, and I feel out of space when I'm not doing just those first 3 to
Mhm.
5 minutes, right? Self-care is like when my husband's like, why do you have to have coffee every morning in that room? And I'm like, it's my self-care.
It's my space.
But
It's
it
where I
is
have to
self-care.
start
My-
here.
yeah.
Otherwise we're
I
not
gotta
going to
get
make it to the
going.
end of the
Yeah.
day.
It's
But
so
by the way,
real.
I don't think your husband has any problem with self care. Like they really
Oh, they
know.
don't
Like,
have no.
No,
they
hey,
have zero
I love this.
self care
I
boundaries.
say
That's
they
it. They
have
have
Right,
zero
like
problem.
I need to, like
Ugh.
whatever. I just think that we need to be more unapologetic about whatever that
Hell
looks like.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Hell yes.
Self-care
I
That is
so
so
agree.
real. 'Cause
Yeah.
whatever's
So,
easiest
so
is
agree.
what-
Authentic self care.
Yeah.
Authentic.
So
Authentic.
I have to say, like, the feeling of inadequacy, it does not discriminate. I think we can all agree.
Mhm.
What do you say to women who maybe are in a place of like wanting to rebuild, or the place of like they're in the thick of like, I need to make some changes. I need more self-care. We're not like, it's not going well. What do we?
Honestly, I think it's like if you are ready, try it, because what's the worst that can happen? It's like this is I think one of the things that I had to realize about my journey, and when I leapt off that cliff was like, I was able to achieve all of this stuff during my career, and jumping into this abyss of like unknown, I was like, well, what's going to happen? And the question was like, you achieved all these other things, so why can't you just, if it doesn't work, change direction and do something else? So if you think it's time, try it. Because
Yeah.
there is, and then surround yourself with people who support you, because it's really that when you trip, when you fall, when you have those moments, when you need that self-care, just reach out to the people who love you and surround you and
love
let
that.
them lift you up.
But that's the exact topic, this perfectionism. They want
Yeah.
everything to be perfect.
That's it.
And there truly is no perfect time, and people regret only the things that they didn't do.
Yeah.
And Danielle and I always said that when we took this huge leap, we're like, we can always go back. And we're never going back.
No.
But you
Yeah.
could, like
Yeah.
it's there, like you always know that it
There's
is.
always a choice.
And I
There's always
think
an
this
option.
is such a perfect topic, because the people who wait for the timing are never going to do it.
It'll never
It's
happen.
it's perfectly imperfect, and people love a good story, and
Yeah.
we're all creating.
There is no good
We're all
time.
great.
People do love a
Creating.
comeback kid.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at my journey is like in insane.
I can't wait to hear it over a glass of wine later.
Insane. You know,
Mhm.
to literally be like, yep, I'm homeless. Up. And I'm a stripper. And now I am a this. And now I'm going to, when I say skin your knees and get up and skin them again and get up and skin them again and dust them off and then figure out, well, damn, why am I skinning my knees? You know, the real
Yeah.
self-care for me is if I'm never going to say no to me to say yes to you. It's always going to be a no to you
That was
first.
a quotable moment.
Right? Now, if I do say yes to you, it's because I really want to. But I stop and pause and I say, is this a no to me? And I mean, a no to me is like, damn, I really don't feel like doing it, but I don't want her to be, nope.
Hey, you want to hear
That-
the best line I heard?
Yep.
That.
Somebody told me once, if it does not align, I must decline.
But it's real.
Oh my gosh.
It's
And
real.
on that note,
That's true.
ladies, thank you so much
Yes.
for being here today.